What's up, you guys? Mighty Mike here, and I am super excited. I chose the wrong intro, so sorry about that. You guys didn't get the cool 911. It has been a morning, so I'm so excited to introduce our guest today. Sam is a six-figure kitchen gadget food blogger living in Portugal, and she is here to teach us about consistency. I'm so excited to have you on, Sam. How you doing?
Lovely, thank you.
Awesome. So, one of the things that we like to do here is dive into websites, learn about marketing, and just kind of like swim in the lake of marketing. And so, you being in one of these major groups for podcasting and marketing, and I had a conversation. And we were talking a little bit about consistency just now. And I'd love to dive into many different things. But first thing, how did you even get started with this whole marketing journey?
I started online like many other people did, and that was through selling things on eBay, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
Because when I started, it was way back in 2005, and blogs hadn't really taken off then, and people just sold stuff on eBay, and that was about it when it comes to online entrepreneurship. And then I think it was the year after that we had our first blog or website, as you might call it.
Okay.
And we managed websites for clients in a lot of different niches, from dentists to lawyers to accountants to other food blogs. And then we decided we would rather be doing that rather than managing it. So in the November, December of 2015, we started our food blog, and we've just been doing that as our solo gig ever since.
Wow, that's really cool. Well, I got to tell you, different things bring everybody in, but one thing that every business needs is good marketing and a great website, to be able to get people to, and kind of your online real estate, if you will. And, it's really cool. Everybody has a different story of how they get going, but everybody needs marketing regardless of where you start. So, Sam, what would you say is your major, like, if we're an Avengers team? I always tell people who listen to this all the time are probably like tired of hearing me say this, but if we're building a team of Avengers, and we talked about it a little bit already, but like, what would you say is your marketing superpower?
Well, my husband gets sick of me saying this all the time. Like you're talking about your mighty powers. He gets sick of hearing me saying all the time. I'm always telling him content is king. Whether it's on social media, your newsletter, your blog, your podcast, it's the content that drives it. It's the biggest traffic source for us as a business. It's the content. For
It's free
example,
usually, right? I mean,
yeah,
if it's organic and you're just making posts every day, I mean, you can do 3, 4, 5 posts a day, and it's all free. And you're beating the algorithms. It's like one out of what is Facebook now? It's like 3 times to get everyone on your list to see it. You got to
yeah.
post.
I think it's crazy now. I have about 30,000 fans on Facebook, and I'll be lucky if I see 400 views on a new post,
Yeah,
which is
yeah,
ridiculous, really, isn't
it's
it?
crazy. Yeah, because they've already voted and said, we love Sam. Right? We want to
Yeah,
hear what Sam has to say, but Facebook is like, well, you might like Sam, but unless Sam's willing to pay a little extra, you're not going to get to see what she's posting. Yeah, it's kind of messed up. And I'm seeing with the political strife, if you will, I'm seeing a big emergence in other apps that are coming out that are getting a lot of traction, like Parlor. I don't know. There's a bunch of them, but we'll see where they go, in the next 5 years or so.
oh, absolutely. Like our biggest source of traffic is actually Google search. 60% of our readership comes from Google search. And, if you think of that in numbers, we get about 8 million page views a year. So, it's quite a lot that we get from Google. And,
Yeah.
Google loves great great content. So if you produce great content, Google will reward you.
Yeah.
Whereas Facebook, it's pay to play.
Right, exactly. So great. So there's a lot of different things that you can do to get traffic to your website, and there's a lot of different courses you can take and things you can do. But what would you say is one way that someone can take their marketing, this organic free marketing that we were talking about, and then be consistent with it? Because I know that's what you're one of the things you're saying you're really an expert in, and so um, are there certain tools that you use? Is there certain calendars that you do? Like, how do you be consistent?
Well, let's take social media as an example, because a lot of small businesses, a lot of them don't actually have websites and they run everything off social media. So it's a good starting point. Well, we use a tool called smarterq.com.
Mm,
And basically, what that does is you load up your social media updates into that. And then, let's say, if you're too busy to post on a particular day, it recycles it. So, let's say you post something today, it goes out on Facebook, Twitter, maybe you've got a Facebook group too, and maybe it goes on Instagram as well. And then after today, it then goes to the bottom of the queue. So let's say you're only loading up 4 days worth of social media updates a week. It will then recycle the others so that you've got a consistent calendar coming through the system. I mean, from the point of view of a blogger, the average blogger puts out 4 new blog posts a week. So let's say that their social media calendar is normally just the latest blog post, then they've got 3 days when they haven't got any social media happening. So by using a tool like SmarterQ, it's recycling your old content. And quite often the content you're putting out is not particular to a certain day. So it wouldn't matter if the same content was getting recycled through the system on a regular basis. And we started using SmarterQ a few months ago, and we found that we keep building it up and building it up, and we now have it so that the recycled content is only hitting the reader's attention every 3 months. So in 3 months, they've forgotten about something they read 3 months ago.
wow. And how do you spell this SMATQ?
Smarter, as in I'm smart and intelligent,
Oh,
and
okay.
then the word Q, so SmarterQ. I can put it in the comments if you want.
I found it. Smarter Q.
Okay.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So we can take a look at that. But yeah, it looks like it's a pretty cool tool. Is your social media getting noticed? That's pretty neat.
It is, and it's cheap as well. I mean, we're paying more for it because we've got quite a lot of content in it, and you pay more for the more different categories you want to run. So I think we're only paying about $22 a month for it. So it's cheap.
Wow, that
Um,
is cheap. Yeah.
and you can do categories on it. So let's say you go all out with your business for Black Friday or Thanksgiving, and you've written all that content. That content's great, and the same content would apply to next year. You can have a Thanksgiving folder, and then you can have it set to certain dates. So as soon as Thanksgiving's over, it stops, and
Mm.
then you can reset the dates for next year, and you've not actually done any work for next year. You've just done a date change.
Wow, that's the thing about this that I love is, life happens and you can put all this stuff in here and then it can just like so let for example, Christmas or Thanksgiving time comes, if I have some posts. Actually, this is the way that you guys need to look at this because let's say I make 3 posts, A, B, and C. If based on what we were just talking about, my viewers, only 1/3 of them is going to see that one post, A. That's the idea here. Only like 1/3 of your audience on Facebook sees what you post on a page. And so you have to post it 3 times for all of them to eventually see that one ad. So what I love about this is it's like utilizing, yes, some people who already saw the ad may see it again, but the chances that these other people may see a post as it's recycling some of this valuable content that you're posting is pretty cool. Sam, does it change it? Does it change the content?
No, it doesn't. But what you can do is you can do modifications. So when you originally post it, you can have different text and images so that, you could reword a sentence so that you've got many different versions of the same text, but keep the
Yeah.
same link. You can use different images. You can do testings to see which one converts better in a similar way that you would do if you were involved in email marketing, for example. It's a similar thing.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I really like that. Well, thank you for sharing that tool. We're not getting paid anything. I don't know if you are.
Oh no, I'm
For
not. I'm not getting paid anything. The thing is, my audience are people interested in food, so I'm not signed up as an affiliate for any business or blogging
yeah.
style stuff. So it's
Okay.
just what I
Yeah.
like.
But hey, we're all about getting some cool tools. So I'll bring it up here one more time so people can take a look at it. You guys go ahead and write this down if you want. Smarter Q. You guys can do that. And guess what? We are going to dive into some website stuff here in just a second. But I got to ask Sam, are you ready to dive into some website insight?
Yes, I am.
All right, you guys. So the thing to know about this next segment here is that there's three things you got to do. You got to pay attention real close. You got to get out a notepad, all right, because you're going to have to take some notes here, and you got to smash the like button. That's just how it is. You got to do these things. Let me go ahead and remove that for a second. So if you're on Twitter, get a life. But if you're on YouTube or Facebook, whatever you're at, smash the like button. All right, let's dive into it. And at the end of today's show, we are going to announce a winner of the website giveaway. And so, in order to win that, you guys got to comment your website below. There's this thing right here you want to look at. You get $3,000 in website credits if you win. Once a week, I'm announcing a winner. And so in order to do it, you got to put your website down below, not yourwebsite.com, but your actual website. If you don't have a website, you can still be entered just by putting, I don't have a website. Samantha, do you know that most of the people who comment, they comment, I don't have a website? Did you know that?
Really?
These are business owners that say that. It's crazy.
Well, short story for you. We currently live in Portugal, and we're planning to relocate back to England next year.
Yeah.
And we've been looking at various local businesses for things that we need when we move back to England. And it amazes me how many don't have a website and their Facebook page hasn't been updated in 2 years.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It is really crazy. So, there's so many ways to do it. I mean, I got my mightywebsitebuilder.com as a sponsor. You guys can go check it out, of course. But there's so many, there's no excuse for you not to have a website. So, all right, let's go ahead and share the old screen again here and dive into this website. So when I first came to this website, I thought that it was a notary website, notary public. They confirm who you are when you're doing real estate transactions, stuff like that. And in this case, after looking at it a little bit more, I realized that this is actually a directory. I'm pretty sure, but it's a little ambiguous. So, and there's some very generic stuff here. So, but there are good things. I like that it's secure. And now that should be considered a basic, but it is secure. It doesn't have a phone number. That's the first tip that I got, that it wasn't an actual notary's website, because notaries need to have a phone number, so they can get called and get appointments and stuff. So what is the first thing that stands out to you in this website? Obviously, I had to decipher what it was that they did, that they weren't just a notary, they were actually a directory by this banner up here, which, by the way, is the same color as my bookmark bar. Like, I didn't even realize that it was a part of the website at first, and then I saw the link.
Do you have the domain name so that I can have a look on my phone, because I can't see it very well on my screen?
Yeah, it's right here. Actually, I'll put it in the chat so you can just click.
Just put it in the chat. Thank you very much. That would be great.
Not a problem. And you guys, actually, I'll put it in the comments too. And again, don't forget to comment your website so you can enter to win. And what's cool about StreamYard is, if you're watching and you want to comment, you got to go to StreamYard and give them permission to see who you are. That's, it's very secure. It's just that they can have permission to put your name as a commenter on StreamYard. That way we know who you are. But the cool thing about StreamYard is that, using this tool, because I know you're going to be presenting on it later, Samantha.
Yes, I am. Yes.
Yeah, you can actually comment. Like I just made a comment and it commented on
Yeah, it's
all the
brilliant.
platforms.
Oh, brilliant. That's fantastic. I've been wanting to learn about it for some time now, and it's just, it's like you always have that really big to-do list and something always ends up at the end of the list.
Yeah.
And I'm just about to start a podcast. So I purchased this big course bundle with different podcasting guides in, and there was the StreamYards among that. And I'm just excited to try it and see what all the fuss is about.
Yeah, it's really cool. There's some other apps like StreamYard, what we're streaming on right now. I mean, you're watching us on YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook right now, live or replays, I guess. And the thing about it is, this is not even on Facebook. We're not even on Facebook or YouTube or anything. We're on an online link called StreamYard. So you guys can check it out. We don't get paid anything for it, but I love these cool tools that allow you to do so much. So, all right. So again, comment below. We're going to announce this week's winner here pretty shortly. So while you pull that up, I do want to say, if this is a
I'm just having a look now.
Yeah, I do want to say, if this is a directory, you guys, and you do have a directory, the first thing here, it says find a notary. You know right away that this is not a very updated or advanced directory site because it doesn't have a search bar. The first thing I should see here is a search bar. I'll show you an example of a great, a couple I could show you, but this one right here is an older version of a website directory that has thousands. A professional directory of process servers. You can put in a zip code and immediately find a process server. If you're the owner, I think the owner here's name is Joshua. Joshua, you definitely want to have some kind of a search bar. I mean, I get why you did it this way. This is the easier way to just create links. It's also great for Google crawlers, but for an actual search, if I'm actually trying to find a notary, this scroll and scan method is not often what people want to find. So Sam,
no, it's not. I would suggest more than one search bar, because as your directory is growing and growing, it's a long way for people to scroll when they're looking for something. When you look on a lot of directories, they'll have at least 3 search bars.
Right, exactly. So here's another example of a really good example of a great directory. It's called Serve Now, and it's another nationwide directory. This one is a national association, so they're not going to spend as much to make it look fancy, but it does have a search bar for zip codes. This one here, similar concept, very nice website. A lot of money put into that. And then you have this. So I always like to look at examples of great websites and then find out what works for you. What is the first thing that stands out to you here?
What, to me? Yeah, my first thought is the fact that they could be pulling in a lot of traffic from search engines. For example, a lot of people have got basic questions that they want answering that can be covered a lot more, rather than it just all being on a frequently asked questions page. It can be on individual posts on the website. For example, I've just brought this up in Google. This is a very simple way of doing SEO, and that is to type in one of the main questions people would ask. So let's say, what is a notary? Obviously, you're going to get Wikipedia up there first, but you're also going to get lots of other results. And what I found is a very good SEO tactic is to put in the main keyword. So what is a notary? And then scroll down where it says people also ask. and then make sure that on your site you've answered every single one of these questions, and that it's linking back to your search results, because you want to be focusing on link backs to your main index. Like, for example, I say, what is the purpose of a notary? Just writing 500 words about that with a few graphics to make it a bit more interesting would make a huge difference, and would
Mhm.
be a great source of bringing in traffic. And, a lot of people, they will have notary mentioned to them, and they'll be like, well, what is a notary? And they'll instantly go to Google to ask questions. And that is the best place to start to drive traffic to your index pages. And then if you look at the bottom of that page, you'll also see related searches. And you can monetize on those searches and then use them as a way to bring traffic back to your index page. And that's just a great quick trick for, let's say, you look at those amount of searches there, you could do 10 posts and you could be
Mhm.
looking at quite good regular traffic through to those.
Okay. I like this, Sam, that you said this. I use this tool, keywords, related keywords, and it's a great tool for what you're talking about. But very simply at the bottom here, I never really noticed or paid attention to this, but this is kind of the same thing. Search
It
related to,
is.
yeah.
It is. And you can then what you can do is, if you've gone quite broad and then the related searches at the bottom are a bit more sub niche, as you would say, and you could search them and then they would bring up their lot of questions. So before you know it, you could end up with a lot of different results.
Yeah, this is not hard. I mean, you could take notes, like a notary. Well, actually, let's preface this a little bit. So, what we're talking about here is feeding Google. And if you guys have been
Yes, we
watching the
are.
show, yeah, if you've been watching the show for a little while, you know that the whole idea here with SEO and ranking your website, what Sam was talking about, where most of her traffic comes from. What'd you say, 60%?
60% of my
Yeah.
traffic, yeah.
So you could utilize Google by feeding it. That's another thing, is it's actually free as well if you do it right. It just takes you time. And so instead of having, let's go back to this really quick. Instead of having, a frequently asked questions page, which is not bad actually, having these questions, you can just then expound, maybe even have a link on the frequently asked questions, kind of like funneling them
Yes,
to that page.
I was trying to get at. Have your frequently asked questions page, but treat it like an index, so that then that is
Yeah.
hyperlinked to your post that is answering that question. Google loves that kind of content. I'm in the food niche, and one of the most popular types of keywords in that way is how to freeze. So think of every fruit and vegetable that you've ever thought of, and there'll be like 10,000 searches in Google a month, such as how to freeze blueberries, how to freeze raspberries, how to freeze bread.
Mhm.
It's just it's one of those things that gets a lot of traffic. And the thing is, the bigger websites aren't going to go after the smaller keywords. So you write that once now, you'll still be getting traffic for it in 4 years' time.
Yeah, that's good. I like that, because one of the things you got to know is you got to know what it is your customers are looking for. What are their primary keywords? And if you can come in here and we could look at the back end of this site, and you could see how they're doing it and why they're doing it, and what are the reasons. Right here, you got process server, being the primary word. In this case, it should be notary. When we said what is a notary, you saw right here. Let's go back up. What is a notary? Look at this. Notary.net has a blog. They're ranking first, and they got schema happening on their behalf here too. Let's take a look. So here we go. This is their website, notary.net, where they sell supplies for notaries. And let's see how long this is, Sam. It's not very long. I mean, it's decent, but it's just asking some basic questions.
Yeah, that's all it needs, really. Some of my posts that are popular that I wrote a long time ago before Google recommended a longer word count are like 300, 400 words. But the thing is, when you go longer, you can fit in more of the different keywords into one post. So
Without being spammy. Yeah.
yeah, but without being
Yeah.
spammy, because they're different keywords in the same post, they don't feel spammy. It's not like just mentioning the same keyword 50 times. You know,
Mhm.
you're getting like 20 different ones in it. And then Google realizes they haven't got results for another keyword. So they associate it with you, and then you rank for more and more keywords.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's the way to do it. You gotta look at it that way, and so I just checked here, this one is 868 words.
That's
So,
not bad. That's about
yeah,
average, that I would say.
yeah, it's like 500 to 1,800, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
Kind of the idea. So, yeah, so answer these questions because look, this notary website, I'm in Florida. I don't even know where these guys are. And the reason why that matters is on your search, Google will give you things closer to you sometimes. But in this case, I think this is more of a nationwide company. I've seen them before, notary.net. Also, notary.net's a great domain name. I mean, it's
Oh yes, it's fantastic, isn't it?
yeah, it's like really good. We'll give them some credit for that too. So they're doing look at this, and it tells you here with this related keywords. Another cool tool, don't try to do all this on your own. Related keywords, is sneaky, and it comes over here and tells me how many searches they're getting per month and how many keywords they're ranking for in the US. It's pretty cool. I mean, how much traffic they're getting and how much, and so you can kind of go down the line here and see, you know, using this tool. So don't try to do it on your own. Use the tools that are going to make your job easy. That's the idea here. So
Yes, I use semrush.com, and the
yeah,
beauty of that is, let's say they see a result in Google for what is notary that they want to target. They can put that URL into SEMrush, and it will tell you the positions and the search volume for each keyword that person is ranking for that post, so that then you can target which keywords you want to focus on.
that's good. I love that. And then, check this out. This is National Notary. They got 61,000 visitors, but they have less keywords. And there's something to learn from that. And so if this is nationalnotary.org, they're one of the largest ones, the NNA, they have probably the largest one actually. But I just want to point out like that this is such a smaller website, smaller traffic and everything, but they're ranking first. So it's not always the
Yes.
big dog that gets the worm or whatever you want to call it. So, but I could click here, and I got a list of all the keywords that they're ranking for, the 114 top keywords. So this could be one way to do it too, to kind of hack it and look and see what this website that's doing really well, what kind of keywords that they're doing well for, and try to rank for them by creating blog posts and articles around some of these things that relate to each other. Good stuff, Sam. There's a lot of value there. Let's go ahead and finish up our review here of the website.
Absolutely.
I don't like that it doesn't have a home link, right? Because I clicked on
Yeah.
frequently asked questions, but now I want to go back to the homepage where I was. I mean, I guess I could click on the logo. It took me to Moz, an ad for Moz. Okay. The other thing too, oh, here we go. It refreshed back to this page. The other thing I noticed is there was an ad right here. And here's Deal Machine. So these are all things that that I might buy. I actually have Deal Machine. The ad that you might have noticed before this was StreamYard, which we're using.
Yeah.
So
It's
Google
very
ad.
good how it's targeted like that, isn't it?
Yeah, Google's smart. And then this guy's making money, sounds like mostly making money on these ads, and of course finding a notary, people who are trying. So I don't know that he's ranking. We can try to find him. But if you guys are watching this, you want to know how you stack up in this whole SEO game, you can come over here and put your information at mightywebsitebuilder.com into this audit tool. It actually costs me a little bit of money for you to use it, but it's valuable, really valuable. It's a 16-page report. You guys can put your details in there and it'll break down everything. It'll give you a score on how your website does. I decided not to do it on this one only because it's not an actual notary. And I don't know if it's directory would count as a national thing. It probably national. But they also don't have a phone number in here. So
Yeah, I think it's something else that I would be doing is when people are scrolling through the homepage, they're automatically wanting to click through and find out more information. And it has a section where it says our team, and you would normally have a link that then links to the about page in that section, and there isn't one, but there's something similar right up in the menu.
yeah, and then if you click on, and then it takes you to this like Shopify store kind of situation to buy
Yeah,
something. It's and then there's a phone number, right?
yeah.
So in the store, but not in the directory. They don't want you to
Yeah, it
call.
needs some links adding to the bottom of the site as well, so that you can quickly see the contact page, for example, terms of service, privacy policy, all that kind of thing that you would expect to see on a website.
Right, exactly. So
Yeah,
notary.net, um, we can take some of these here and I'll go ahead and push through a report for him, even though there's a lot to be desired. Let's see.
yeah, and another thing I'd be looking at is branding, because at the end of the day, there's going to be several sites about notary, and it's why do you trust that brand? Why should I buy from that brand? Why should I list with that brand? Why do I want to find out about the listings with that brand?
Yeah, that's good. That's all good stuff. Definitely. So what, why, yeah, exactly. So why do I want to hire you? Just because you're, and the thing I want to really drive down here with this whole notary thing or any kind of service you're providing is go ahead and search like this. Let's say notary in like let's say I'm a notary and I want to know if I should join this guy's directory. I would put notary in wherever I'm at, right? So let's say Orlando, just because that's where I'm at, Orlando, Florida. And this is important because this is where I want my customers to find me. Notary in Orlando. You could do a notary comma instead of in. There's different ways to do it. But here we have Notary Public Writers, FL Notary, National Notary, right? That's one we saw earlier. I don't see his directory. So your Snap Docs, there's a lot of e-file ones. FL Notary, let's say 123 Notary. Yeah, he's not here. So I don't know, Joshua, but if I were trying to sign up for directories, the first ones I would do, I'd skip the ads. You could do the ads too, I guess, but I usually skip the ads and I would look here, and I would try to find the directories. Yelp, of course, SnapDocs, of course, Thumbtack. These are all directories,
Yeah, but even though that is very, very good advice, I think that when you're a smaller website just starting out, it's much harder to compete with the likes of Yelp and other similar
Mm.
ones. That by going after answering questions, you're getting an entry of traffic into your site, and you're going after the smaller traffic, as you like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
with
And
different smaller traffic that adds up. Go for the index, of course, like you're saying, but don't be surprised if you don't get there.
right. Exactly. Yeah. You just never know. You got to throw stuff at it and see what you can get out of it. But, these
Yeah,
keywords.
aim for the bigger, but expect that the smaller is going to be your, as us Brits call it, bread and butter income.
Right. Yeah. And if you're just starting out, you may not be able to afford to add yourself to all these directories either. That's
Yes,
the
because
other
it can be
part.
expensive too.
Yeah. And so I went ahead and ran the report for you there, Josh. I didn't have your email because it's not on your website. So I got it here. Let's see if it shows up here. There we go. Yeah, it hasn't shown up yet, so you can click on it. Anyway, that'll be coming to your email. It takes a couple minutes to generate, but yeah, 16-page report breaking down all of the things that Google sees. It crawls your website for you. All right, so
Absolutely.
great. So that we got some really good stuff here, you guys. I think you know, there's a lot to be desired here, but it looks like this was kind of just thrown together. This might actually be his company because directories oftentimes are owned by marketing people. Let's see. You can come right here and take a look. Okay, yeah, so he got some. How this works. Okay, so you can pay $300, get yourself a website thrown up. That's pretty much how it looks like happened here. So, which is unfortunate because the website leaves so much to be desired here. I don't know if it's a do-it-yourselfer or if it's a template that was purchased, but definitely needs some help here. And I just like to look at it from the perspective of a potential customer. You know what I mean, Sam? Like I'm a
Yeah.
notary. I'm a notary. Do I want to add myself here? And then secondary, there's two different things going on. Secondary, they just spit them over to notary.net. I just threw this phone number in here. I didn't realize that's not his phone number. That's notary.net, which is the one that we found that has the great content that was
Yeah.
ranking for. So this is almost like a window website to notary.net. So it's like an affiliate link. See a referral 104. Maybe that's what that is. I don't know. But anyways, great stuff. Thank you so much. I really want to know what is your parting piece of advice for those people out there, that are, we're going to announce the winner here in just a minute, but Sam, I want to know what is your parting piece of advice for those people who, let's say they built a website, they did a decent job building their website. Maybe they have it on Mighty Website Builder or somewhere else. How do they get traffic? What is your best advice for that?
Well, like I often say, content is king, and it's consistency. I know many people that have not been very good at marketing or blogging or building websites or the online atmosphere, as you would like to call it. But what they have had is they've been consistent. They've been making sure that their social media channels are always up to date. They're always quick to answer their customers' questions when they ask them on websites. And they're the ones that build up the super fans that come back over and over again to them because they've been consistent. You don't have to be great at marketing. You just always have to be there. There's nothing worse than when you contact a Facebook business page and you wait 2 weeks for a response and then you don't get the response you want.
Yeah.
It's just all about consistency. We can use consistency in a lot of day-to-day life, like when
Mhm.
we're on a diet and we want to lose weight.
Yeah,
If
sure.
How many of us quit the gym in the first 30 days and then but those that are consistent 6 months down the line have seen absolutely amazing results. The same can be said for in business.
So true. And I would just say on the consistency thing, there's this book. It's called, oh gosh, what is it called? The One Thing, I think. Anyway, there's this concept. It's called Big Mo, and I want to say it's the one thing. But anyway, the idea is that if you do any kind of a thing, it becomes a habit after so many days. Yada yada. You've all heard that. But the thing that I'd never heard before that I heard in this book was that there's this like secret thing, and he calls him Big Mo. Big Mo steps in, and you still have to do the things you were doing before, all the consistent things that you were doing before, whether it's weight loss or food, or in this case, maybe you're doing your daily posts. You're going through and making your regular post, 3 posts a day or whatever whatever your plan was, you're doing it. After you've done it for a certain amount of time, the longer you do it, the more it becomes a habit. And that's what they call Big Mo. Big Mo comes in momentum. Big Mo is
Yes.
momentum. And so now you're like, yeah, 3 posts a day, I could do 5 posts a day, or whatever. And the idea of doing 5 or 10 posts before would be, you know, ridiculous. But now that you've got momentum behind you, you can add on to it. The other thing is habit stacking is something I've been doing. I don't want to give too much away here, but this is my morning board. And as you can see, my one thing, I don't have anything here because I have podcasting, and so it's like there's so much going on with the show. But you can see over here the habit stacks. It's like do this, then do this, then do this, then do this, and do it in that exact order every day. So, for example, wake up at 4 a.m., go to the gym, and or weigh in, and then go to the gym. Then at 8 o'clock, so it's a long working out process. Shower, fuel, meditate. Right. So there's these different habits that you stack on top of each other so that you
Yeah.
can be more effective. Is that kind of what you're talking about, being consistent?
Yes, I am. And when I'm talking about consistency in business, people are thinking, right, it's hard work to actually put out 7 social media posts a day to be active each day. But, there's tools like SmarterQ where you can just spend and have your diary or like your board that you've got there. And you could say, right, between 9 and 10 on a Monday morning, I'm doing the social media for the week. And then, for example, you could have Tuesdays and say, that's where I'm getting all these questions answered that I'm going to get SEO results for. You can just build it up. And it's the fact that you're not going to give up after 2 months, and that a year down the line, how much traffic or how many social media engagement you're going to have compared to now. Because when you're starting out in business with these websites, it's often you're thinking, I haven't got any traffic, it's too much like hard work, or why does everybody else have traffic and I don't? It's
Mm.
about being consistent and building it up. We all start on zero, we all start with no website knowledge, and we're just being consistent all the time and learning.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just like the tool SmarterQ, I have on the Flex tool I just released, a part of Mighty Website Builder. If you're a customer, you can actually come on and schedule a lot like Hootsuite, Sam. I don't know if you heard of Hootsuite.
I remember Hootsuite. I ended up hating it in the end. I think I used it for about 2.5 years. And then it went incredibly slow and drove me absolutely crazy. When you get these sites that are just go at snail speed and you just want to beat up your laptop because,
Oh, yeah.
you get so frustrated, don't you? It was like
Yeah.
that. But
It is, and I think that's because it had so much to it. It had like your
yeah,
feed, and then it had your posting, and then it had all this other stuff. With this, it's so simple. It's like it only does Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter right now, but they've added Instagram is coming, and this whole Flex tool on the Mighty Website Builder is just constantly growing, and so you can add an image here, put a post, and you can actually schedule it to whenever you want it to post. And I've been playing with it here, just started yesterday, and you can see I got a couple posts. They've been coming out for this business, virtual legal professionals. And so it's pretty cool, and you can go through and schedule them all out, day, week, month. You can see what you're doing. You can check, just like Hootsuite, you can check your feeds,
oh yeah.
and but I feel like
Well,
it's a lot more simple than a Hootsuite was.
yeah, it's a long time now since I used Hootsuite, because I remember when I quit Hootsuite was around the time I first started with Tailwind, which is kind of the app of choice for people that use Pinterest.
Oh
And
yeah, that's right.
I remember I think I joined Tailwind in early 2016, so that just shows how long ago it was when I was on Hootsuite.
Well, there's a lot of different stuff you can take from the different apps. There's a lot, that we have
Mm.
going on here in the marketing world. It's constantly growing, it's constantly changing too with the different social platforms. And so I always tell people, make sure to diversify. And that's why I love things like StreamYard, because you can just blast out all your stuff here, and have it on all the platforms, and ultimately drive traffic back to your website. I keep adding all these tools. It costs me, a little money, but I just keep adding these tools to the website builder, Sam, so that my clients can do these things themselves. A lot of people want to optimize their website themselves, which I like because then they don't have to pay me thousands of dollars to do it. So Sam,
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
you
And it helps people, doesn't it?
yeah, it really does. And so I definitely appreciate you coming on. Appreciate all of your great tips, and consistency is really is key. And do it long enough to get that momentum, like Sam says, and it's just going to make it so much easier.
Oh,
Good.
it is definitely.
So Sam, how can everybody keep up with everything you got going on? Did I lose you?
Yes, sorry, I didn't hear you. It must have gone. I'm on
Yeah.
countryside internet in Portugal. They don't even have fiber optic broadband here, so it can go sometimes.
Well, you got a pretty cool domain. It's recipe this. I'm just going to bring it up over here real quick. Recipethis.com. And let me give it some love here. There we go. The Milners. And
Yes.
great stuff. So this is your website. They can come and get the recipe newsletter.
Yeah.
Oh, yummy, man. You're making me hungry. Your website is making me hungry. Good
Well,
stuff.
because of our time difference, it's dinner time here in Portugal, where it's now 6 o'clock.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I'm
Well,
probably more hungry than you, unless you've skipped breakfast.
guess what? It's time to announce the winner. And you guys know that if you're watching the show and you comment your website below, if you don't watch the show when I announce it, you may not ever know. So today's winner is Glinda Preti Rooney of VistaNotaries.com, which is a really cool name, Vista Notaries.
Oh, it is. I love that domain name.
Yeah, and it's like taking a major keyword or a major word that just everyone knows, Vistas, right? Vista, and then adding it to Notary. It's great. That's why I did Mighty. Many reasons I did Mighty, but Mighty is like something everybody knows how to spell. Rarely do people say like, "Well, how do you spell that?"
Well, for me, the intention was always at some point to get a podcast going. Well, it's taken us 5 years, and so we were just thinking that when you're saying it on a podcast, you want something quick that is just easy to speak out loud, So we wanted short and sweet, and we actually bought Recipe This as an expired domain, so it was available for sale and no longer in use. And
Wow.
so it wasn't a brand new name that we chose. We searched the internet looking for expired ones because they tend to have a better Google profile when they're reused rather than starting from scratch. So it made ours quite old. And plus, when you buy them like that, you can just put in your main keyword and it'll bring up lots of ideas, and it saves you kind of scratching your head and thinking, what am I going to call my site?
Yeah, that's good. Well, recipe this is again, 2 words that work.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
And we notice a lot of people will buy a website and then just change their mind with what it's about. So at least with Recipe This, it can be any kind of food blog if we wanted it to be.
right, yeah. And so, well, we're out of time, but I feel like we could go on, and there's a lot of questions that keep popping in my head, but you know what? We may have to have you on again at a future date. And if you ever need anybody, any help with your podcast, or you want to have any guests on, I get a lot of guests coming on, and good people, and we got to stay in touch.
Oh, definitely. It was great fun. Thank you very much for having me, Mike.
Not a problem. Take care, be safe, and stay mighty.
Yay.
All right, take care.
Take care.